Pee is stored in the balls, SpongeBob. I don't know.
Pee is stored in the balls.
Pee is stored in the balls, SpongeBob.
In this exceptional episode of Streamin' with Keegan, Keegan and a distinguished panel of guests will engage in a thought-provoking dialogue, exploring the burgeoning frontiers of deep learning artificial intelligence and its profound implications for musicians and creatives worldwide. Are we presented with a captivating instrument to harmonize with our artistic endeavors? Or does it pose a formidable challenge, potentially rendering human expression obsolete? Join us as we delve into this fascinating discourse.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Streamin' with Keegan. This is a special episode of Streamin' with Keegan. As you can tell, my voice is different. I have a voice changer on, but not just any voice changer, an AI voice changer powered by deep learning AI. Yeah, I've got a panel of guests consisting of Digitaluv and IMLX. Why don't you introduce yourselves? Hey, what's up? What's up?
I'm Digitaluv. Nice to meet you all.
IMLX H. Imagine I had the speak and spell samples ready to go just then.
IMLX H.
I think I subbed to Bishu for a year, and I, kept putting my stuff in stream, and he kept calling me He's like, bro, I don't know how the hell you pronounce your name. And I'm just in chat like, say it letter by letter. I am Alex H. That's my name.
I just said I didn't pronounce it perfectly, but I said IMLX H or something. IMLX H,
Yeah, it's close enough.
Close enough.
So, yeah, this for those of you who don't know, this is going to be called the AI Deep Dive. Well, this is called the AI Deep Dive, where we talk about different kinds of artificial intelligence. Well, specifically, deep learning artificial intelligence, the shit that everybody's freaking out about these days, that kind of thing. Abstract,
like neural networks, kind of, that sort of thing.
Yeah. AI. I have like a
self-teaching programs, really.
Exactly. Shit that is not hard-coded. Let's get started. Let's start by talking about like how each of us was basically exposed to this new kind of AI. I was exposed to it a long time ago. My brother was talking about this. Ooh, there's this super cool robot that can learn how to play video games. And it learns how to play video games. Whoa! An artificial intelligence that can learn? Crazy, dude. Like, that was the kind of thing. It was a novelty back in the day. I'm sure you guys remember a time when neural network, deep learning AI around was like painfully bad and you could laugh at it, that kind of thing. Like Doll-E Mini, the text to image, fucking cursed images.
I still laugh at it. I still just completely laugh at it. My favorite thing to do is just type in completely ludicrous things and just see what the hell it shits out. And that is what is interesting to me. When it doesn't, exactly work as intended. Like, if you give it something vague, it's kind of got a personality of its own. So it'll do it to the best of its ability. Go on.
Sorry, I'm reading a comment. The idea of theory crafting of self-learning AI goes back to Alan Turing's chess engine, working on between 1945 and 1952.
But I think the first time I saw AI, like, that was similar to that. It was like, it showed up on my YouTube page. It was like something about like Rocket League AI that this guy coded. Yeah, just getting better and better. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. My brother is also really into Rocket League, and
I remember you talking about that.
He's actually part of a Rocket League bot community where he programs hard-coded. He's programmed hard-coded Rocket League bot AI in that video game, Rocket League.
Yeah, bro.
But now the machine learning AI Rocket League bot in the community has like surpassed all the hard-coded bots because
Yeah.
it can learn, it can get better, you know?
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need human intervention to get better. It can just do it all
Yeah.
by itself.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
crazy.
the scariest part about this new kind of AI model is the fact that we can't say that we're 100% responsible for how good it's become, you know? We weren't there to build every block. We only set the
the black
foundation.
box, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, legit.
So that's like the scary part of this AI. We're venturing into the unknown. Alex, what about you? What was your first introduction to this kind of AI?
Well, actually, when I was studying at IUPUI, Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, I have a music technology degree from there, which, I mean, it covered a lot of really cool bases. Unfortunately, none of which, kind of explain how to monetize these skills. But one of the people I studied under was Dr. Benjamin Day Smith, who was the author of a library for Max, Max MSP. If anyone here is an Ableton Live user, it's that Max. It's Max for Live Max. And it's called ML.star, which is, I mean, it was just kind of an attempt at, a machine learning sort of thing in just for Max MSP. So, I mean, like, if you have Max MSP and you download ML.star and you know how the hell it works, theoretically you could make some machine learning devices for Ableton Live.
Yeah.
After that, I just kind of discovered I was watching a lot of Vinny Vinesauce. So he was doing, Talk to Transformer. He was doing AI Dungeon. He was showing neural network generated pictures people had sent him, and this was, 2019-ish. So like it's before all the neural network apps were developed. Like if you were going to make something like that, you'd have to find like a Google Colab and then run the thing. And so
those
I started
still
looking.
exist.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I prefer them a lot to the AI apps. The ones that have
Cost money.
X and Y restrictions.
Exactly.
Cost money.
Exactly.
Probably involves some kind of spyware. It's just an algorithm. You can like hack it up in Python. You can just like rent out some computer on the Google servers. Maybe you have to pay if you like want something really crazy. Like for a while, I was actually paying like a monthly subscription for Colab Plus in order to do OpenAI Jukebox, which I mean, that's the kind of thing that scares a lot of people because it like literally it generates a musical audio file,
Right.
and a lot of them actually do make musical sense, but I will not say that they are songs. I mean, for one thing, I've never been able to get OpenAI Jukebox to generate any more than like 60 seconds worth of audio.
Right.
But
good for sampling, perhaps, and that's how it should be. In my
yes,
opinion.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I like. Because in fact, one of these things, there's a song that I've been working on off and on for a while now, like months, maybe even a year. And part of it involves a. This is kind of a funny story. I was screwing around with OpenAI Jukebox, and
Right.
so I was trying to see what would happen if I gave it gibberish input. And so for the genre, I typed atonal fart hollering, and for the artist, I typed Bob Saget. And so, of course, neither of those were in the database
Of
for
course.
OpenAI Jukebox.
Had to
So it was
improvise,
just
had to get creative.
it was like, well, I'm just gonna pull from basically everything I have. I'm gonna act as though this prompt's blank, and I got some like really interesting, like musical, like samples. Like there are bits that are like you could use drum loops, and like there's some like it knows how to play in a key, and there's it's like you can get some like kind of like little funky grooves again to sample. It would not be what I would consider, something that could replace an actual musician, because it honestly, all neural networks I've played with are agents of chaos. You kind of get what you get.
Yeah. I get that for sure.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, I actually have a list of tabs on my browser of these different websites and things that I found while digging. Some of which I use, others I just found recently for this stream. And because you were just talking about jukebox, I found something that, in my opinion, I mean, I've heard some jukebox songs, and in my opinion, this is like pretty significantly better than jukebox. I'm gonna send you my favorite song that it created, and the song that intimidates me the most. I'm gonna play it for the stream. You guys can play it too if you want.
Oh. Yeah, let me just have it not come through my speakers real quick.
Yeah, I'm playing it right now.
Okay, alright, so this is... Alright. Yeah, this is how, actually, I thought it would be working, and for what it's worth, I don't think you would need a neural network to do this. I kind of think, you could hard code a lot of this. Because, I mean, it does sound nice, but what I'm thinking is happening is that the, whatever AI it is generating MIDI files. Because
you know what? Yeah.
MIDI files are a lot easier to generate because they're a lot smaller.
I can confirm that it probably does use MIDI files though, because it gives you the option. Hang on, I don't know if I still have that part open.
Yeah, it's like MIDI files going into a decent sample bank. Yeah.
Yeah. It says download single files, and it gives you the option to customize them with a MIDI.
Oh wow, yeah. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Actually, the thing is, if we're talking about something like MIDI, that's something that's kind of been around for a while. I don't know if either of you are at all into modular synthesizers, but in the modular synthesizer world and in like the live coding world and all, like really nerdy electronic music, there's something called generative music, and that's actually pretty simple to make, depending on what you're trying to make. There's actually I can think of something I made a while ago. I'm not sure where the audio file I rendered is, but it was in Reactor. Either of you have any knowledge of Reactor?
I do not.
It's Native Instruments. It's sort of a Native Instruments build your own synth toolbox. Reactor has this mode called Blocks, which is sort of a simplified version of what it's doing under the hood, in sort of a visual representation of something that would look like a Eurorack synthesizer, if you can imagine what that looks like. Eurorack is those really like images of Wendy Carlos, We Stand a Queen, Wendy Carlos and the guys from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I forget which one was playing the keyboards there, Emerson, Lake or Palmer. But it's the big synth, the one that's a wall of knobs and dials.
Yeah,
right.
It's like a whole. It goes like vertically, right?
Yes. The thing is, those are not all those knobs. Those aren't all one thing. They're a bunch of smaller things with 2 to 5 knobs. And Eurorack is a standard for making synthesizer modules. Instead of the guitar cable kind of 1/4 inch, it has 1/8 inch, more like an aux cable.
Right.
But anyway, something that you can do in Reactor and in an actual modular synthesizer, if you have the right modules, is take a random number generator or noise going into a sample and hold. I guess RNG is the more understandable term here. I'm trying to explain modular synthesis to people who I don't know whether they know much about modular synthesis at all.
Yeah.
If you put noise, like literally white noise, into a sample and hold with a trigger. Every time the trigger fires, you can hold a value from the noise, and that's essentially a random number. So if you take that number and put it through something called a quantizer, you can like auto-tune that voltage to a note in a scale. And like you can select which notes you want to tune it to and all of that. I mean, I basically, like I took, a couple random number generators, put them into quantizers based on the same pentatonic scale, and then for the bass, I had a smaller selection of notes, and I had the trigger at a slower time value. So it's sort of more like bass parts are actually, written in music.
Yeah.
So I had basically, I had quantized to the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 6, cause I mean, you've heard the 4-chord song, right?
Is there a particular 4-chord song I should know about? I don't know if I've heard it.
The 4-chord song, it's like a mashup of all of the songs that use this exact same progression. Let me get this crappy toy Yamaha FM keyboard. Trying to set my microphone up and fell on the floor. Yeah, we got our shit together.
Yeah, Digitaluv has some issues going on as well, so don't worry.
The 4-chord song is like
right.
like you've heard that progression in like half of the songs on the pop charts, basically.
Yeah. Simple chord progressions.
So basically, the bass notes of that are, and so those are what I quantized the bass part to, and so it just kind of went from those bass notes with the couple pentatonic melodies playing. But it sounded like it was actually it sounded like it had intent.
Yeah, you know what? I'm realizing. Yeah, in hindsight, with MIDI files, it actually is pretty. It actually probably would be pretty easy to hard code that shit. It's just all mathematical, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And Western music theory, like as I learned it in high school, it's really easy for computers to do because you can make a flowchart of the circle of fifths, where like you can like select a random chord, like so.
And like the thing,
let's say we're in C major, so if you select the minor 2 chord, you can't just go there like from 2 to 1. You have to pass through 5, so it's so like that is a musical idea.
Right.
So that's just how you make musical ideas in Western music theory.
Right. You know, in Western music specifically, and just music in general abroad, it has very predictable patterns, I suppose. So in hindsight, I guess, truth be told, there's a lot to be said about hard-coded artificial intelligence that I feel like in this world where everybody assumes it's a machine learning, deep learning AI of the future, I do feel like there's the tendency to underestimate hard-coded artificial intelligence, which and the thing is, I'm not a programmer. I don't know any of this like shit. Once you walked me through it, I understood it. But I'm actually glad that you did, because there's a lot of companies that might use the flashy new word AI and think you mean ChatGPT. When in actuality it's just some hard-coded thing. Yeah, all this is very fascinating, but I feel like I want to start getting into the second stage of this discussion stream, where we talk about how AI affects artists specifically.
I'm gonna tell you just like right up front, I don't have answers. I just have questions. But I mean, if we
I have questions, I have answers, I have a lot of. I don't know everything, but I have a few bullets that I'd like. I have a few predictions, a few fears, based on based on my understanding of the landscape, which I'll admit is limited because I'm not super knowledgeable. I'm not a programmer. I don't pretend to be one. Okay, so and this is just like a general thing for artists and creatives. Let me read this bullet. One thing that I've been kind of worried about, a potential problem. Not even a potential problem. I've watched news stories or just even video documentaries on YouTube talking about AI in this manner. But like AI, the fear of AI replacing creative freelancers, writers, voice actors, etc. And one thing I would like to bring up in that regard, I don't think AI will ever replace artists, because that is impossible. That's impossible. Like there will always be a market for music, whatever it is, music, art, whatever kind of art you make, but we're talking about music because we're all musicians here. There will always be a market for music in the context of a consumer, a listener,
it
passive,
needs that human element.
A passive customer enjoying your music, right? What I feel like is in danger is the potential for AI to replace work for hire jobs where humans.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a reasonable sort of thing to worry about.
Yeah.
And also, I have the same sort of feeling for different for different things that have nothing to do with AI that have been around years before machine learning, neural network applications.
Yeah, technology's replaced a fuck ton of jobs. Yeah.
Like,
It's true.
I mean, I've got, you guys know about Contact, right?
About, what was that?
Contact, Native Instruments Contact sampler.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, Contact.
Yeah, it's like an industry standard kind of like really nice sampler, VST. I actually have Native Instruments Complete. There's several different programs, like banks, sample banks, for specifically, I'm thinking about the ones for like quote unquote exotic instruments here in the West, like things for instruments from India,
Like the
West
world
Africa,
type,
Balinese gamelan.
Yeah.
There's still people out there who literally play those instruments,
Right.
and are work for hire musicians. So I mean, there's
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can imagine how these sample banks would be good for, like, say, a composer who's, like, going to actually eventually hire one of these musicians for hire, to use.
Yeah,
this,
that's the thing.
this sample bank.
Samplers in general, just like, you don't have to play guitar or hire a guitarist if you want to be a producer and have guitar in your songs.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, and I mean that, like, on the one hand, that, kind of lowers, the bar to entry. Like, if someone wants to make a song, they don't necessarily need to have the money to hire, someone who plays X or Y instrument. But on the other hand, they don't necessarily need to have the money to hire someone who plays X or Y instrument.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, for a while, I was really interested in becoming a voice actor on Fiverr or, what's the other thing? Casting Call Club. And, I don't know if you've seen my, my fucking Squidward, cover of Projecting, my song Projecting.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, wow. No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but I gotta.
Okay, I'm gonna send the link here. But yeah, basically, that song, I used open source fucking singing artificial intelligence on that,
Hey, that's interesting. I might want the link to that later.
Yeah, I could send you the link to there's a whole ass server community who makes these, like, fucking voices from random ass fucking characters.
That's crazy.
Is it UberDuck?
It's called AI Hub.
Oh, okay.
I sent the link to the music video. The Squidward's vocals are actually my vocals, but the AI basically turned my voice into Squidward's voice, and it sounds really good, and this is, as far as I'm aware, the first AI that matches pitch. There's some deep learning artificial intelligence, but this is like the first one that I've ever seen, like, that can actually, like, match your pitch and make it sing. Like, this is the first thing that I've seen that is for singing and not voice.
Okay.
Not voice conversion.
Yeah, I mean, my friend Amanda, she's one of the people who makes, like, vocal synthesizer covers, and
Right.
specifically she makes Microsoft Sam sing.
Oh,
and
okay,
she's been
yeah.
showing me some stuff she's done regarding like actually taking vocals from I think she was initially using Synth V, which I think that's got some sort of like machine learning stuff under the hood.
I sincerely
but
think
she-
it does, potentially, because I was always wondering, like, how the fuck is Synth V this good? But anyway, sorry, continue.
She basically takes the output from Synth V which has like very relatively natural vocal inflection.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
then uses some sort of neural network program to basically turn it into Microsoft Sam's voice. Because I'm assuming that's because there's like a database
Yeah,
of like
dude.
recorded syllables that Microsoft Sam has made, and really what the machine learning is doing here is mapping the input audio to similar sounding voice bank audio.
Yeah, dude, I should show you. I need to invite you guys to the AI hub, because, there's a fucking Hatsune Miku AI voice, which is crazy for me to think about, because theoretically, I could use Vocaloid and then just, like, superimpose Hatsune Miku's AI voice over, I don't know, fucking Cyber Diva, without buying Hatsune Miku. I haven't done that, but I totally could, and I feel like that's a pivotal part I wanted to talk about in this live stream. The positive part about how AI could be used as a tool to serve artists, as well as the negatives about how AI could be potentially used to replace artists in certain fields of business.
Yeah. I think one negative for sure was like, say someone's programming like their own game. With all these new with all these new AI, like they could ask the AI to make like a certain vibe of like track to their game that they want for like a level or something.
I actually have a
and they could use that
Yeah.
instead of like an artist. So maybe like for music that people would actually listen to, it like AI probably definitely couldn't replace that.
No, of course
But like
not.
for something like a game level or something, like I feel like that's definitely something that could happen.
Yeah,
Where,
Well,
like,
here's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing. I used to work at Kroger, and some of the music created for mass consumption, it's just so bad that I kind of feel like AI would be a improvement over it.
You mean like fucking mainstream bought out record labels, that kind of shit?
Like Memories by Maroon 5, the one where Adam Levine just poorly, like mediocrely plays Pachelbel's cannons, like
And like I feel like in general, like AI has the potential to be really, really cool. It's just that capitalism exists,
Yeah, you got it there.
And like it's so interesting that you said that, Digitaluv, because one of the bullets on my phone is this: one artist's means are another artist's end. Someone uses AI tools to do things they needed a human to do before, and don't notice it until they see their own art medium being used by an AI tool. Like what you said, literally, I had the exact same example. You use AI you use AI in your music, and game devs use AI music in their games.
Yeah, bro, legit.
It's just
Okay,
like
I'm gonna be real here.
yeah.
I would love to train a neural network on my music and like my music alone and just
See what
see
it can
what
do.
comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing though. That's the thing though. Like that's so cool, but that you have to be careful with that kind of mindset in capitalism, cuz like suppose you're like, I don't know, like you don't want people to exploit, like I was interested in cloning my voice. I did clone my voice on 11 Labs.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Text to speech thing that was actually used in my intro that I've also been using for my audiobooks, because I am also I'm a writer as well as a musician. Like that kind of thing I'm fascinated by, but it's like at the same time, if I was bigger and someone wanted a piece of me, like suddenly they wouldn't need me. They could just take a piece of me that's just as good, except without paying me,
Yeah, and I'm gonna call myself out here. One time I did that with Lil Jon. I haven't released the song yet, but I just got the UberDuck AI of Lil Jon to go, all the white guys in the club, put your hands up!
Okay, but the thing is, like, we're all guilty. If we use AI, we all have blood on our hands to some degree, because it's like, putting aside the fact that I never would have made it if it weren't for this AI, I could have hired somebody, a Squidward voice actor, to sing this for me, you know?
Yeah.
That's the other thing I wanted to bring up, because, like, it's like, I could do a pretty decent Squidward impression, not the perfect one, but, like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I'm not a perfect, it's not perfect, but,
He is stored in the balls.
Pee is stored in the balls, SpongeBob. I don't know.
SpongeBob, pee
SpongeBob.
is stored in the balls.
Pee is stored in the balls, SpongeBob.
I love how this is where we've taken
that
this
was fire.
extremely serious discussion about
yeah,
the
I
future.
know!
This honestly reminds me of the same kind of like you know, is this a brave new world of creation, or is this something that's going to fuck over, you know, working musicians? I feel like we've already had this conversation with samplers, and then you know, before that with synthesizers, drum machines.
Dude, we've had this conversation.
That kind of thing.
There's absolutely. We've had this conversation a million times for a million subjects and problems, right? Like as old as time itself, when humans created pieces of technology, it's always going to replace something, right? It's always going to replace somebody's livelihood, right? That's as old as time itself. Well, as old as humans.
I mean, like, you know, if you made music with like completely acoustic instruments, I guess, you know, that's an ethical use of technology. But if you're gonna do that, then you're just probably gonna turn into a folk punk band. And there's only like 3 good folk punk bands, and there aren't, you know, any more. And if you start one, you're probably not. Maybe this is my own personal hang up. But, you know, there's some people I knew in high school who were like, the only real music is like the Beatles and things played with real instruments. I'm like, buddy, you're my age. I honestly really don't like the idea that any instrument or, you know, method of making music is better than another.
Sure, yeah.
But the thing is, you know, that doesn't mean that no music is better than any other music. Like, I feel like a lot of what people are worried about is, you know, AI being used to churn out just soulless, you know, garbage, you know, music that, you know, basically irritates people and nothing else while they're trying to work. But, I mean, we're already doing that. We don't need AI for it. I mean, like, what it does is it makes it faster to churn out more of this garbage.
Yeah. And the thing,
to me, it doesn't have to be that. You know,
no,
there's
exactly.
so many other ways to use it. There are ways. I believe there are ways to use it that basically kind of give it its own personality as an artistic medium. Like there were ways to use samplers that did that, or there are ways to use synthesizers that did that.
Using it as a tool.
Yes, that's what I'm into. That's what I'm and there's some Brian Eno quote. I don't know the exact words, but it's basically like the ugliness of X or Y medium will eventually be prized.
Kind of like how chiptune became a genre because that was the limit.
Vinyl crackle.
Yeah, like those were the technological limits of the time.
Tape, distortion.
Yeah,
like
dude.
Those are all from technological limitations.
Yeah, and they became charming as fuck and vintage and their own style.
And I've discovered if you push like neural networks and stuff to their limits, they get this really like silly, chaotic kind of vibe going.
Yo,
with them.
speaking of silly and chaotic, the things that Rich Preem and Abstract have been getting into when it comes to visual AI specifically is this website called Kyber. They use Abstract and Rich Preem. I want to send in several examples, like Abstract's latest lyric video. It samples one image, and then you give it a prompt and audio to match it, and of course Abstract also threw in his own video editing to complement it. But it's like, it's super trippy. It's the closest thing is like, it feels like a psychedelic drug trip, but it's fucking awesome, you know? And it's just like,
that's kind of the thing. Like, I mean, I'd love to make a music video, but that would involve, you know, hiring a director and or an animator and like really just a bunch of people and waiting for however long for them to make it, or I could do something like this. And is this going to give me the same result as hiring an actual person would? I would argue no. It gives me a different kind of result,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting in its own right.
So, like, my favorite artist
Check
ever,
him out.
Palfu, Palfu released this music video. It's called Shades of Blue. It's amazing. The song's amazing. And he basically has like this AI thing go over their video that they recorded and make it all like, it like looks amazing. Like the way they did it.
I've seen stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I also have kind of something similar here that I was just going to send. I don't know if it would copyright the audio because it's from like a band.
Yeah, this is what I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, this is dope as fuck. I've seen TikToks like this.
Dope.
I think I might have actually seen this exact thing. That's so cool,
It's
though.
insane.
That's wild.
Man. It's insane. And because it's like off of like the actual video, it's like it doesn't mess up too bad on
No, this
a lot
is-
of it.
yeah,
it looks
this
like
is-
really dope.
This is the kind of shit
Yeah.
I want to use in my music videos. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is how
Yeah, but-
AI.
Honestly, I think this is cool. It's like, for the sake of argument, you could like hire someone to rotoscope it, but I doubt they would make something that turns out looking like this.
Yeah.
It's kind of its own thing.
Yeah,
It's something different than what a human would create.
Exactly.
That
So
is
true,
what
yeah.
interests me.
You know what's
Yeah.
like so sick about that video? My favorite part is what Keegan's playing it like past a second ago. It like there's this one part where he he plays these chords, like he strums it, and it kind of turns like away from them into the like background, and it like makes it like a whole like island, like ocean part, and it just looks crazy. Like, yeah.
Dude, I would really love to make this into a larger series, the AI deep dive. Like, maybe not like.
Yeah.
Maybe not like
I would love to have like a whole ass round table with like a bunch of people.
Dude, fuck yeah. The moment I realized Abstract couldn't make it, I already decided that there has to be a next time, because I really think Abstract could have brought up a lot of the examples that we ought to do as artists to maximize the benefits when it comes to artificial intelligence versus like the negatives, right?
Right. Is the technology liberatory or is it, suppressive? For me, I kind of think that musicians, at least if I'm any indication, or the people, other people I know who make electronic music are any indication, I think we're less freaked out about it than visual artists are.
Yeah. I know visual artists are
and
freaked out because you could just,
I still kind of feel, like a lot of the worry is misplaced, if nothing else. I feel like there's a lot of AI hype in basically every field that has even the slightest thing to do with technology now.
I feel like to some extent the AI hype has to do with the fact that it didn't used to be possible at all, and now it is.
Yeah, but I mean, also, like, it's not that great. And I mean, people are saying, it'll get better, but like, it's again, it's the whole, how long is it gonna take until it gets better? Is it perfect now, or is it just in a dip? Is it just falling into the same pit over and over again?
You never can tell because every model is different. They're operating under the same thing, but it's like every model is trained differently. Every company uses a different strategy. Like you don't know what kind of thing they do. But yeah, I think we've pretty much beat this horse to death. I feel like this is definitely a to be continued thing. I'd love to have more people here.
I'd love to continue this. Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah. I think that about does it, right? Unless anyone else has any like closing statements.
My only closing statement is I am not an expert. I am in fact a complete dipshit. So I could be wrong about all of this.
Yeah. All of us are complete dipshits, and we are just musicians trying our best, trying to figure out this artificial intelligence.
Hey, anyone here into Philosophy Tube?
I've heard of Philosophy Tube. I've definitely heard.
She's got a quote that I feel is relevant. Which is that the goal of philosophy is to be wrong in interesting ways.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's what I'm doing here.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. Just be humble.
If you wanna just blind us with logic and reason, feel free to post paragraphs in the chat.
Destroy us with facts and
unless
logic.
Keegan's not. This isn't my channel. Is Keegan cool with that?
I'm cool with that as long as it's like respectful
cool.
and not like you fucking idiot. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
if you start something with "you fucking idiot," we're automatically just gonna disregard it.
Yeah.
So it's to your behoovement to be like a fucking decent human being.
Hey guys, this is Editing Keegan here. Thank you so much for watching the first episode of the AI Deep Dive with myself, Digitaluv, and Alex. It was really fun to record, and if you want to see the full version, click the link in the description down below. If you thought my edited version was long, oh boy, this one is a lot longer, but hey, it has a lot more interesting conversations that we left out in this more succinct, generally more succinct version. Feel free to check that out too if you want to. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!